We're learning the Sikha of Simchas Torah, Tavshim Mem Vav. We're holding Seif Tes. Okay, so what's the bottom line here? What's the Rebbe demanding of us? To bring Moshiach. Right. That's what the Rebbe wants. That's it. Bring Moshiach. Make it happen. How? How do we bring Moshiach? By publicizing the Eibish's name in the world. By bringing a Lakos to every place in the world. And that is, we're not talking here about Stam of any level. We're talking about the real thing. Megala your own Yechida, be Megala the Yechida in the world, and through this you Megala the ultimate Yechida, which is Mashiach. That's the level of Avodah that we're talking about here. Okay, so this is only through Chassidus. You probably know that the famous Sikha the Rebbe said, it's actually now 60 years. Tavshil Chavav. The Rebbe spoke about the inyan of Teres HaChassidus, that it's Yechida Shebenefesh. There's a contrast. Kuntras in Yonash al Teres HaChassidus. And no.
Oh, you don't want that.
Kuntras in Yonash al Teres HaChassidus. There's a Maimer that Rabbi Oster said, Shalom. Anyways, there the Rabbi speaks about Chassidus is the Yechida Shebetayra. Okay? So if you learn Chassidus, you reveal your own Yechida. Then you can reveal the Yechida in the world. And then you could use your Esek Kochas HaNefesh to be Megala Mashiach, because you're a Shliach. Every person is a Shliach. And therefore you're Megala Esek Kochas HaNefesh, and that's how you bring Mashiach. So here, Siftes, the Rebbe brings it down, the Poel Mamish. Who are we talking to? Who are we talking to? Me and you? Maybe someone else. Maybe someone else. It's not me and you. So let's see what the Rebbe says.
Maybe you, not me.
The Nikuda Mikol Ha'amalel. In case you missed the point until here, the last few lines of 366. The point of everything that we spoke about. It's relevant to every single yid in our generation. Especially the shluchim of the Rebbe. Whether you were appointed as a shliach directly from the Rebbe or a shliach that appointed another shliach, and v'chulu. Und wir soll danach übergeben die Rede euch zu den Schluchen, wir sind dann nicht so itzter. This should be also given over to those that are not present here. I imagine by this Fabrengen, there were very few shluchim that were there. They didn't come for Simchas Torah, usually. So the Rebbe says as follows: Yed yid bedor zeh.
But this was the secret that was done while they were on Talucha, no?
Most people were on Talucha at the time of this.
I'm saying there was a small oil there.
Right. But people came back towards the end. So I'm not sure if the Rebbe said this in more in the second half of the Fabrengen, when everyone started coming back. No, this is only a chelik of the Fabrengen is Muga. The whole beginning of the Fabrengen was not this subject. So now, Yedi Yid B'dar Zeh is a shliach from the Siderenu, dem Rebbe, dem Shver. Every single Yid. Every Yid is a shliach of the Rebbe. B'shlichus Shalach HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Rebbe is the shliach of the Eibush that appoints every Yid to be his shliach, to meifit zayin Yadus, to publicize Yiddishkeit in general, Kailul the Mayones Chutza, including the well springs of Chassidus in every place of the world. Darf jeder wissen wegen dem Achrayis. So first you have to be aware of this responsibility you have. Responsibility you have, not just to do things in a low flame and a low scale, but you have a yechid inside of you, a nitzitz shel Mashiach, a spark of Mashiach. Und hat die Schlichus, so das Megale sein im Welt, and therefore you must reveal this in the world, gehen im Welt, go out into the world, und verspreiten, die Meyanes Chutza, spread the wellsprings of Chassidus in every place, bis, as durch dem Megale sein, die Yechid HaKlal is Mashiach Tzedkeinu. And then you'll reveal Yechida HaKlal is Mashiach. See, me versteht the minyan b'shlimusai, whether you fully get it, you comprehend and relate to it, or not, or even if not. Darf sein, und the ikir is hamaisa b'payal. What must be, and the main thing that matters, is action. Du darfst wissen, as du bist a shliach. You should first of all know your identity. Whether you realize or not, you are a shliach. So therefore, you should go out and fulfill with alle deine esek keiches, with whatever capacity you have of your keiches, the shliches was man not gegeben, shliches that was given to you to verspreiten Yiddishkeit und Teire und mitzvahs b'chol makom and makom, to spread Yiddishkeit, Teire, mitzvahs in every place. Alle taryag mitzvahs v'halacha sheb'Teire. That's everything. All taryag mitzvahs and every halacha of Teire. Kailul kapashet emunah and bias Mashiach. That includes, obviously, also to let people know about the coming of Mashiach and to believe in the coming of Mashiach. Kipsaktin Rambam, Soif Hilchas Malachim, and Melcham and Melech Mashiach, as the Rambam says in the end of Hilchas Malachim, on Paskin dort, as Mashiach is a boss of Adam. The Mashiach is a human being of flesh and blood. Even though there's an opinion brought in the Gemara that ain't Mashiach Yisrael. Hillel said that ain't Mashiach Yisrael, and only the Eibishter himself could redeem the Yidden, but we don't pass him that way. So much so, one that doesn't believe that Mashiach will be a boss of Adam, he's a kafir. Because his psukim and Torah that prove that Mashiach is a boss of Adam, and that's how we pass him.
Mitzad the Rambam,
Mitzad the Psakdin. Yeah, Mitzad the Psakdin, that we pass him like this opinion, yeah.
So if a person holds and says he only says, I believe in the era of Mashiach. It's
Not in Melech HaMashiach, also.
Well,
It's he's kafir.
Yeah, that's it. So yes,
Yeah.
the
Call me Sheina Maimon boy, the Rambam says. Yeah. Und die Emunah bebeis Mashiach is not a prat echad b'Torah. This, that you have to teach people about Mashiach and teach them to believe in Mashiach as being a boss of Adam is not just a detail in Torah. No, kol hasfarim meleim b'davazeh. The expression the Rambam says all svarim of Tanakh are full of this subject. This is the lashon of the Rambam. He brings a bunch of psukim from Chumash and then from Nach, and then the Rambam concludes kol hasfarim meleim b'davazeh. Okay, so this is part of the shlichus, to let people know about Mashiach and about believing in Mashiach and that Mashiach is a boss of Adam and it's real, it's happening. So this all has to be done in a pleasant and peaceful manner. And one may think, speaking to such people that are so uninformed and so mistaken in their outlook, they don't know that the Eibishter's glory fills the whole world. So maybe they're not cooperating, they don't understand, so then maybe with force, you'll scream at them and you'll come at them and give them names. Maybe that will be effective. How would someone think this? But someone will think that there's no choice. People that are not cooperating, or maybe speaking about Yekaifer, give him a name. He's speaking about someone that's a shon of a pirish, someone that should know better, and he doesn't agree and he doesn't believe. So you have to shake him up and scream at him and so on. Yeah. Zogt menim. So what's said to this individual is, as derech ha-Torah is dafke b'darkei noam u'b'darkei shalom. The way of Torah is to do things in a pleasant manner and in a peaceful manner. And if you have a sharpness to you in your character,
Sorry.
if you have a sharpkeit in your character, as sharp as that ring, or which is like tzipranayim, the fingernails that are long and sharp, it has some benefit, but es ist nicht kein Sachen Welt. Warum? Es ist nicht da kein Sachen Welt, was ist levatala. So if a person has that kind of character, that's very sharp and strong and aggressive, so maybe it should be used for this purpose. Is Thomas is da an chitzes bezeh. If there is, in cases, a necessity to be aggressive, darfst du nutzen die Nägel auf sich allein. Use that aggressiveness in your own nefesh habamas. Ki yidua piskon kvektushis mari v'cham yad mor devart of the Friedrich Rebbe. That's an ayem game. Okay, aber nit auf zweiten chas v'shalom. Don't use that characteristic towards anyone else, God forbid. When you get that zweite, when you're dealing with someone else, is divek darkei noam v'darkei shalom. The only way to influence someone, even when it comes to sometimes touchy subjects about Mashiach and belief in Mashiach being a boss of Adam, as the Rambam says, everything has to be explained calmly, nicely, pleasantly, according to what it says in Torah, without getting excited. Now, another point there. Untamer eino hata safik. If there's someone that has any questions or doubts about what we said here, see, is a shliach v'nisreinu? Am I in this category? Am I a shliach of the Rebbe? This whole thing here is all based on the point that shliach with esakaychas and nefesh is Mashiach, and therefore there's nobody that's excluded of this aveda to bring Mashiach in this way. But if someone has a suffix about this, what's the answer? Zogt menem. So to him we say, hast du a suffix? You already have that. That's actually a good sign. If you're thinking that you're not involved at all, So then you need to wake up. But if you already have a suffix, it's chatoif. Grab the positive. Chap sich on in the shlichus, sei es mekayim. So take the shlichus that's actually there for you and fulfill it. Das Gufel was dir is reingefallen. A suffix, the fact that you have a doubt about this, as a suffix, such a kind of doubt, why is this as das hat dir a shayches? So that means that you have a connection to it. You don't have a suffix whether you're a monkey or a human. You don't have a suffix about your identity and certain things that you know is not you. But if a person has a suffix, maybe the Rebbe is appointing shluchim, and I'm in his generation. This is the 7th generation, and therefore the Rebbe is the Rebbe of every Jew, and therefore I'm also a shliach. If you have that suffix, that means it's connected to you. But like nit, from wann kommt zu dir as einfach? How do you have such an idea? And the truth is, the Rebbe said before the statement as a fact that every person in this generation, through the Nasi Ader, b'shlichus of the Eibishter, is a Nasi, is a shliach of the Rebbe to fulfill the shlichus of bringing everyone to do Torah mitzvahs and to bring Mashiach. So now, if a person has a suffix, that means that he is beginning to relate to this. Nachmer, das das Mod bei ihm reingeworfen als suffix with davar. The fact that we were successful, the Rebbe says it actually brought a thought, a doubt that possibly this is so. And he doesn't have clarity on the matter. Is a shliach. The truth is he shouldn't have any doubts because the truth is that he is a shliach. Is das b'chdei soll dem suffix herauswerfen. The only reason why it hasn't been brought to him clearly is because now he can participate in this as well. David leaves a little bit for avoid the b'kayach atzmai, that embrace it completely yourself. If the Rebbe comes and shoves it down your throat, so to speak, to use that expression, that he tells you, you are my shliach, you like it or not, you were born in this generation, I'm the Rebbe, you're the chassid, and therefore, so then it's not giving space for you to get involved personally. So over here, it comes in a way that it's only a suffix so that you could clarify it for yourself and throw out doubts. And this adds a greater advantage to the Aveda. Actually, and what kind of advantage of Aveda? An Aveda of negating what's bad, negating that thought that maybe I'm not a shliach. What's the mile of this kind of Aveda? Negating something which is bad. So it says in Chassidus, mitzvahs lo yisasa. What's greater, mitzvahs aseh or mitzvahs lo yisasa? Mitzvahs lo yisasa has a mile of a mitzvahs aseh. Even, okay, this is a big discussion about this actually, because la halacha it says eseh doiche lo yisasa. Because S is mamshach or lois S is not, but the Alter Rebbe look at the Torah explains Barichas Gedayla that lois S is greater than mitzvah asay, and the raya is from what you see in a pasuk that it says that mitzvah asay is keneged vavke, mitzvah lois S is keneged yudke, and the point that the Alter Rebbe explains is mitzvah asay is a connection, an expression of the Eibishter, and something which is a keli, an action that you could do. Mitzvahs lo yisasa is a connection to the Eibishter by abstaining, because it's a level of lakos that there's no keli for. It's expressing einoid mulvada in such a oifen where it's saying that if it's not the Eibishter, then it's completely negated. It's a deeper concept. That's the mitzvahs lo yisasa. So over here in this case, the Eibishter puts a thought into your mind. I'm a shliach, but maybe yeah, maybe not. It gives you the kayach to involve yourself in this, to confirm it to yourself, not only the positive, but also in the loisas aspect. Throw out the thought that you're not a shliach. That's like negating what's not true. That's like a loisas. The mile von eskafia v'eshapcha. So you get the mile in your avodah of eskafia and eshapcha. Oy, by him wollt mit da reingefallen as sofik. If you never would have had such a kind of doubt, what on the gehat in mile von avodah chiyuvis mitzvah say, then you wouldn't have the mile of you personally confirming it for yourself, both in the positive and confirming that you are a shliach of the Rebbe. You also wouldn't have the other aspect of the Avodah to throw out a negative thought. When there's a doubt that's in your mind. Oh, so now you have what to throw out. So this is true, just like what it says in Chassidus B'chlal. The Alter Rebbe in Tanya says that when a person has machshava zaris, and Alter Rebbe in Tanya Perek Chav Ches talks about the fact when a person has all kinds of machshava zaris and he gets very annoyed and depressed about the fact, why are these thoughts falling into my mind? What does it say about me? So the Alter Rebbe says, First of all, if you think you're tzaddik gomer, that actually makes a person depressed because he thinks he's a tzaddik gomer, and all of a sudden he keeps on revealing again and again that I'm not. So it gets very depressing. This is the pshat that the Alter Rebbe says in Perek Chav Ches for the question that he asks in the beginning of Tanya, that if a person says he thinks he's a tzaddik, it's a problem because it's not true. If people say to you, tzaddik ata hayeh benech karosha, which karosha means you have to always realize you're only a benini, halavai benini. But then the Alter Rebbe says there in Tanya that the fact that the Eibusher throws machshav zaris into a person's mind is because the Eibusher wants to have the mile of a skafia. The famous line the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, Shnei minei nachas ruach lefonav yisbarach. There's the nachas ruach of the tzaddik and the nachas ruach of the benini that has machshav zaris, and you make a matamim and you make it spicy for the Eibusher. So over here, the Rebbe is saying the same thing regarding your identity in connection to the time you're living in and being a chassid of the Rebbe, a shliach of the Rebbe. The fact that a person may have sfeikis, is it still, is it now, it's after Gimel Tammuz, is it true, am I there, am I part of it, am I not? So instead of looking at the sfeikis as a negative thing, if I have sfeikis, so then it's not so strong. The sfeikis is a raya that it's weak, that my connection is very shaky. The Rebbe takes it the other way around. The Rebbe says, no. If you have a suffix, it doesn't show that it's shaky. It shows that it's there, but the Eibusher didn't give it to you with full clarity because he wants you to come from below. You should do it yourself also. See how the Rebbe looks at a suffix? You come to a Rebbe and say, Rebbe, chab sfeikis and amunah. So if you're not a Rebbe, so you have sfeikis and amunah, let's this is a terrible thing. Let's learn Sfarim to clarify the sfeikis. You have sfeikis and amunah? The story to Tzemach Tzedek, I think it is. A chassid came to the Tzemach Tzedek. He said, Rebbe says, Rebbe, I have sveikas and amunah. So the Rebbe says, "Nu is was? Rebbe, sveikas and amunah." Nu is was? So what? Again and again. The guy was chalish. Have sveikas and amunah. And you're saying, so what? That itself brought out that really the thing touches him to his core. And he's so bothered by the fact that he has sveikas and amunah. So Adarabah, the way the Rebbe dealt with it was not to say, you have sveikas and amunah, terrible. That means that you're mamish, you're going off the path. Fakat, it really means that it's very strong by you. And it bothers you so much so that you travel all the way to the Rebbe to ask him about it. And then you bring out so here the Rebbe is adding another wrinkle into that point. And the only reason you have sveikas is so that you could do your part. The Eibusher wants that it should be not only Mamayla Lamata, it should be Mamata Lamayla. You should do your part as well. It's a very interesting, very powerful point there. Okay, that's the Maisa. Okay, Vahabir. So the Rebbe, this looks like a side point here about the Sfeikis, but the Rebbe knows who he's talking to. And the Rebbe knows that this is a kind of thing which is, whether consciously or subconsciously, we have these Sfeikis. Yeah, am I part of it, am I not? So the Rebbe is addressing it very elaborately. Vahabir. So the explanation about the union of the Sfeikis is as follows. When you have a doubt about something in an inyan versus verbunden mit Yiddishkeit, and the doubt is about something that's connected to Judaism. Okay? So he must know, as this kommt von Amalek. Where does that suffix come from? So first of all, you have to identify the fact that if it's not clear to you if there's a suffix, so it's because it comes from a negative place. Suffix is begematria Amalek. Okay, that's the first point here. Und die Kavon von der ganzen Metzius von Amalek. Also, you may say, wait a minute, this contradicts the whole point that we just said. So the Rebbe says, so why did the Eibusher create such an Amalek? In every generation there's an Amalek. Not the only, in every generation there's an Amalek which puts fakers in a person's mind. Und die Kavon von der ganzen Metzius von Amalek und die Gematria Shaloi, Sophic, unkritis, whether doubts, or even being cold and indifferent to things. He makes you cold. That is thrown into a person. Men, when the Rebbe keeps on saying, men varf darein, the Eibusher. The Eibusher is the one that brings this coldness into a person's heart. So this is all that now we have a new mitzvah. It's another mitzvah. What is that? The mitzvah from Timcha, Zecher Amalek. Now you have to be the one to eradicate Amalek. As mazal reis war from them Safik, as is from them bleibt gar nicht über. Get rid of him completely to the point that he's totally gone. Is everything okay?
What's your problem?
Downstairs?
Problem?
What?
You should, if you got a friend, go to a different place. No, the guy that works here.
What's the issue?
You should your friend. The Bocher is auch in der. Das ist doch-
The schwarze with yellow?
No, there you probably don't need that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go weiter.
Hey, die schöne Bocher da.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is the Maisa here. Oh, so here the Rebbe brings the Tanya I mentioned before, Perich Chav Ches. The Yisoid Lo Ha'amar. Here the Rebbe is applying this. See the Chiddush of what the Rebbe is saying here is that the Rebbe is applying this regarding a Molek, regarding the lowest things, Sveikis, Kriris. The Alter Rebbe in Tanya doesn't say it to this extent. So the Rebbe says the basis, the Yisoid Lo Ha'amar is Mefurish B'Sefer Tanya Kadisha. The Alter Rebbe says this in Tanya, wo schreibt, das B'Shas, eine Falt Arei Machshav Zoros B'Shas HaTfilah. If you have thoughts that don't belong in davening, do not become fallen in your heart because of this, and to be totally depressed. Because the truth is, it's not an indication of who you are. Not an emtzache. It comes from something and a power of the Yetzirah that's not you, Bichlal. And the kavanah b'zeh is, what are you supposed to do? What's your reaction supposed to be? Al yashiv mu'uma. Don't get involved with him. Don't respond. Don't get into a discussion and try to overpower it. Make yourself completely to completely ignore it. Completely ignore it. And just take it out of your mind. Just continue davening even more. In other words, the point out the Alter Rebbe saying of here is, there's when a person is like actively trying to throw something out. So that itself, you're paying it attention. No. You get rid of it by just continue doing what you're doing. Just continue davening. And you even look into the Siddur and daven even better. That's it. When you do this, you push aside those negative thoughts that come in davening. It's a special level, special inyan. Kanal is mentioned before, then V'skafya, which the Alter Rebbe spells out there in Tanya. Adarabah. Das, was man warft, Merayin Sveikis, is Kedez L'Habn Oich Dimail. The only reason a Yid has struggles and Sveikis is an Avedis Hashem, so that he should have this Maila as well. The same is also regarding this, how we identify ourselves and our Aveda in our generation. When a person has a doubt, am I a Shliach, am I not? Das Gufe weist, as hat zu a Sheichts. The fact that you have this doubt means that you're really connected to it. Und the Kavane in them suffix is, and the whole point there is to throw it out. So the Rebbe is like saying two things literally in the same sentence. The Rebbe is saying here that suffix is bigamatria molik. But at the same time, the Rebbe is saying, if you have a suffix, it means that in essence you're connected to it. In other words, I mean, the fact that you're connected is there, behelim, whether you like it or not, but that connection already began to emerge. It's already surfacing. It's coming out at least in a suffix. And Elamai, you just have to grab the positive, throw out the negative, and do what you have to. That's the name. Okay. Atkan. The sikh is out of this world. Put up a banner. No? Who's sponsoring the banner? How to get to work. The question